Mahabharata. Bhima versus Bakaasura. Season 2. Episode 2. Deep within the forests. 5 Pandava brothers and their mother walked on. No royal garments, no warrior's pride. Only simple robes, the disguise of Brahmins. They had lost everything. Their home, their name, their place in the world, but not their destiny. Days turned into weeks. The forests grew thinner, and slowly, signs of life appeared again. A quiet village, far from Hastinapur, far from danger. Ekachakra, a humble place. Mud homes, narrow paths, simple lives. No grandeur, no power, only survival. Here the Pandavas stopped. A kind Brahmin family with little to offer, yet gave them everything they could. A roof, a place to rest, a chance to breathe. And so the sons of Pandu lived as ordinary men. Each morning they went out, begging for alms. Yudhishthira, calm and composed, never once complaining. Arjuna, alert, watchful, his warrior spirit hidden beneath silence. Nakul and Sahadev, graceful, disciplined, adapting without question. And Bhima was different. His hunger unmatched, his strength impossible to conceal. Each evening, Kunti would divide the food, half for Bhima and the rest among the others. Because even in hiding, some truths cannot be hidden. At night, when the village slept, Archana would step outside, practicing silently, drawing the bow, releasing arrows into the darkness, preparing for a future not yet written. For a while, life felt still, peaceful, but it was an illusion. Because over Ekachakra hung a shadow, a fear so deep no one spoke of it openly. Children stayed indoors, doors closed early, eyes avoided the forest. And in hushed voices, one name was whispered: Bakaasura. A rakshasa, cruel, monstrous, unstoppable. He did not attack the village, he controlled it through fear. His demand was absolute. Each household in turn must send a cart filled with food and one human being, an offering for his hunger. If anyone refused, he would destroy the entire village. And so the people obeyed, one house at a time, one life at a time. A system of fear that no one could escape. And then one day, it was the turn of the Brahmin family, who had sheltered the Pandavas. Inside the small house, grief took over. The father sat in silence, broken. The mother wept uncontrollably. Their child trembled in fear. "Let me go," the father said. "No," the mother cried. "I will go." A family torn apart before death had even arrived. Kunti watched it all, silently. Her heart heavy, but her mind steady. She stepped forward. "No one from this house will go." The room fell silent. "My son will go instead." The Brahmin stared in shock. "Your son? He will die." Kunti's expression did not change. "He is not an ordinary man." Bhima stepped forward, calm, unshaken, almost amused. The next morning, Bhima lifted the cart, loaded with food, and walked towards the forest, towards Bakaasura. Deep inside, he stopped, sat down, and began to eat. Calmly, as if the food was meant for him. Moments later, the ground trembled. Heavy footsteps, branches snapping, a roar that shook the air. Bakaasura had arrived. His eyes burned with rage. "Who dares?" He saw Bhima, a man, eating his offering without fear. The rage turned violent. He charged. But Bhima did not move. Not yet. The first strike came. Bhima blocked it, effortlessly. Then he stood, and the forest itself seemed to hold its breath. What followed was not a fight. It was a clash of power. Trees were uprooted, the ground cracked, blows echoed like thunder. Bakaasura roared, struggled, attacked with fury. But Bhima was stronger, faster, unstoppable. And then, in one final moment, Bhima seized him, lifted him, and slammed him to the ground, again and again, until the mighty rakshasa stopped moving. Bakaasura was dead. Silence returned to the forest. For the first time in a long time, the village waited in fear for what would come next. But what came was freedom. When the people found the body, they could not believe it. The terror that had ruled their lives was gone. No more sacrifices, no more fear. Tears turned into relief, relief into joy. But the one who saved them was nowhere to be seen. Bhima had already returned, quietly, as if nothing had happened. The Pandavas remained hidden, unknown to the world. But destiny was moving, because a time would soon come when they could no longer remain in the shadows. A time that would change everything. The story continues. If you're enjoying this journey through the Mahabharata, don't forget to subscribe to ASA Hindu Wisdom and continue the story with us.